guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Montana and I was an exchange student in Germany. But as you may know, because you've already read the title of this video or clicked on the thumbnail, I guess, I am going to be on my way to Germany while this video is published, which is super duper crazy, and I want to make a few clarifications. You might be wondering, why is she going to Germany? And she never really told us that she was going to Germany. So anyway, I am going to Germany for spring break through a UVA program, or not necessarily program, but it's a study tour through UVA and a German foundation. The German foundation is sponsoring us to go on this study tour. It's called a Memory and Democracy Study Tour, and I'm super excited. I work as the program assistant for the Center for German Studies, so I've been planning this trip for months, and it has been very, very stressful. This trip was actually supposed to take place before I even came into the role as program assistant, but then COVID kind of derailed that whole project, and it's derailed a lot of things. Anyway, we have worked to really try to take some specific precautions in regards to COVID to allow this trip to still happen, and I guess just talk a little bit about what the trip is. So there are about 20 of us going, and our aim is to have conversations with people in Germany about the history of memory and democracy in the country, in particular how the country has dealt with memorializing certain aspects of its history. So the biggest being the Holocaust and World War II, but also newer topics of colonialism and other issues that involve memory and democracy. In particular, this is because Charlottesville also has a strong history with memory and democracy. Our city and our university have a lot of wrongdoings in their past, and wrongdoings is totally too much of a general term for that. So our study group that is going consists of students and faculty and community members from the Charlottesville community who don't fall in either of the first two groups. I think I already said before, there's almost 20 of us going, and we're super duper excited to have a lot of conversations that have been planned by the foundation, and what else? There's so much to cover. I'm trying to make sure that I cover all the bases as to what this trip is and what we're doing. So some of the things we're doing, we are going to Weimar and we are going to Berlin. We are visiting a bunch of museums. We have a few discussions planned with some professionals in Germany to talk about these issues, and we are spending an entire day in Buchenwald, which will be really, really impactful. I've never actually visited Buchenwald or any other concentration camps. I think that this trip is really going to show me a part of Germany that I had not experienced while I was there on my own or with my host family, because we're now focusing on the history and on the deeper side of Germany, if that makes sense. One thing that I do want to say is that we are devastated about Ukraine, and we understand that now is likely not the best time to be traveling to Europe or to Germany. But this trip really wasn't something that we could reschedule. We do have statements prepared on informing all of the participants as to Germany's stance on what's going on, and making sure that everyone realizes that the emotional impact that it's having throughout all of Europe right now, and throughout the world, honestly. It's so tragic to watch the news. I know I watched Tagesschau, and the footage is just heartbreaking. But we're hoping that it may even be possible for us to see some of the demonstrations going on in Berlin, and if time permits, take part in them. We've kind of discussed some of the things going on right now and how they are only more impactful to the purpose of this tour and the purpose of analyzing democracy and memory. That is one thing that we are very much aware of and that we are trying to be very cognizant of during this trip. And then the second part is COVID. We have had to take so many precautions because of COVID, and we were hoping that the cases would be a bit lower in Germany at the time being now. Unfortunately they're not, but we have our masks ready. Everybody will be having their own hotel room. Everybody is required to be vaccinated and boosted, and so there's a lot going on there to try to make sure that we're safe and we're able to return to Charlottesville in time for me to resume my classes after this week. I don't know if I mentioned, I think I mentioned this at the beginning, but my role on this trip is as program assistant for the Center for German Studies at UVA, so I will be working. I don't know how much video footage I'll be able to take or how many videos I'll be able to film for my personal channel because I suspect that I will be very, very busy, and the purpose of this trip is not like a fun work trip like in August. So work trip as in I went to Germany for myself in August and filmed like fun videos. I just wanted to tell you guys that I probably won't be able to make a lot of footage for this channel when I'm going because it's only a week. But I wanted to let you guys know that I am going and I'm doing this because it would probably just be a surprise if I all of a sudden post a picture on Instagram that I'm in Germany. And yeah, I figured I'd let you guys know because this is a really, really cool opportunity and I'm super grateful to be part of this cool project. Hopefully I've done a good enough job explaining what we are doing. I know it can be a bit confusing. This morning I had to go get tested for COVID because our flight requires a negative COVID test, but it is so frustrating. I didn't realize how hard it is to get tested right now and how expensive it is because you're required to have that test within a 48-hour window of your flight. And I pulled up to the test center and it was so weird. It was like an abandoned shopping center with this abandoned store and there's like shelves still. I should have taken a video. But you just walk in and you follow these arrows and then you sit down and they do it. But it was so expensive. It was $200 with a discount to get the same day test. And then they offer these other tests and they say, oh, 48 hours, but it's not guaranteed. And they're a significant price lower, but every flight requires that you have the test. So anyway, it was just frustrating. I get those test results back very soon, so crossing fingers I'm negative. I don't know why I wouldn't be. Sorry guys, this was all over the place, but thank you so much for watching and stay tuned. If you do want to keep up with some of my travels, I definitely will be able to post on Instagram more than YouTube. It takes less time and it's just easier. My public Instagram is at montana.showalter. If you guys want to check that out, I also have it in my bio down below. And if you have any questions about what I'm doing or just questions in general, always feel free to leave those in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much. Ich hoffe, ihr bleibt gesund. Bis nächstes Mal und tschüss!